Mr. Ling.
Mr. Speaker, I would like to start my speech with a quote from the American author and journalist McLaughlin. I quote, "A successful marriage requires falling in love many times, always with the same person," unquote. Marriage is a lifelong commitment between two individuals who intend to be in a legally binding union and share life together. According to the latest statistic of marriages and divorces in Singapore, the annual average number of marriages fell in the last 5 years from 27,635 to 26,255, as compared to the period before between 2011 and 2015. Similarly, there's a slight decrease in the annual average number of marriages from 7,439 to 7,424 as compared to the previous 5 years period. It is, however, heartening to know that the figure for divorce for 2020 was at 6,959 and the lowest since 2006. In Singapore, the guiding principle has always been that family is the first line of care and support. Hence, policy and legislative amendments relating to marriage and marital dissolutions can have deep impact on our social fabric. Therefore, I would like to focus my speech on raising 3 considerations on the Women's Charter's Amendment Bill to ensure 1. Civil marriages will continue to be upheld and conducted with solemnity, and 2. Women and children will be protected in the event of a divorce. Firstly, I understand that Section 24 of the Women's Charter is to be reenacted to permit remote solemnization in certain circumstances, providing video link solemnizations as a permanent option. In addition, new provisions will be included in the amendment to allow for a pre-solemnization process to be completed online. I am supportive of MSF's wider efforts to promote the digitalization and enhancement of convenience of the marriage process. However, I'm concerned that virtual solemnization might dilute the significance of marriages. In the lives of many newlyweds, solemnization is an important ceremony for family members to witness and be part of the joy in celebrating their union together. An example of diluted significance of marriage for the purpose of convenience can be found in Nevada, United States. Las Vegas is the city of Nevada and known to have a booming wedding industry. Wedding-related tourism accounts for nearly $2 billion of the city's annual $58 billion tourism industry and generates about 18,000 jobs. One of the reasons for its booming industry is the convenience to get married, such as drive-thru wedding services and 24-hour chapels to solemnize couples. Similarly, this has also impacted on the divorce rates in Nevada, having one of the highest divorce rates in the United States, with a rate of nearly 21 divorces per 1,000 married women in 2019. I would like to seek clarification from MSF on how we can ensure that the digitalization or solemnization for convenience will not send the wrong signal to newlyweds that marriage can be conveniently entered without considering the long-term commitment and devotion needed to create a happy and successful marriage. Secondly, MSF intends to introduce a 6th fact of divorce by mutual agreement of the irretrievable breakdown of the marriage in the amendment by repealing and reenacting Section 96 and inserting a new Section 95A. In the amendment, the new Section 95.3 stated that a court must dismiss an application if it is not satisfied that the marriage has irretrievably broken down and there remains a reasonable possibility that the parties might reconcile. There could, however, be a situation where a spouse who has higher financial control and power over the other coerce the dependent spouse into mutual agreement to divorce, but not out of that spouse's own will. In such situations, how will the court be able to determine if the mutual agreement of the irretrievable breakdown of the marriage may not be out of volition from one of the parties? Are there safeguards that MSF will make to recommend to the court that the marriage is still reconcilable? Lastly, the Women's Charter is also amended to mandate for all divorcing parents with minor children to attend the mandatory parenting program before they can file for divorce. In my interactions with residents who are going through divorces, they often share the emotional difficulties that they face during the proceedings and worry about the impact that their divorce have towards their children, especially when the other party refuses to cooperate and allow for smooth divorce process. I had a resident who once sought my help and shared with me how her ex-husband was missing through most part of the divorce proceedings and was only contactable before the final judgment for divorce is delivered by the court. In such cases where marriages has become acrimonious and one of the parties refuse to attend the mandatory parenting program to proceed with the divorce proceedings, will the other half be stuck in a marriage that is unable to move on? I would also like to ask what happens if the couple is going through a family violence situation and the perpetrator is not willing to attend MPP. How can MSF ensure that the divorce proceedings will continue and the victim can receive closure to move on in life? Mr. Speaker, it is important to strengthen marriages in creating a cohesive family environment for the next generation to model after. As far as possible, conditions need to be created to allow couples to reconcile amidst family disputes and marriage breakdowns. It is inevitable that divorce can occur and families possibly broken apart. It is my belief that there must be therapeutic justice incorporated in the divorce proceedings, in which acrimony and hostility during these proceedings will not be aggravated, and the children's best interest is prioritized. Although couples can no longer be husbands and wives, they continue to be parents and role models to their children. Therefore, it is important that the amendments to the Women's Charter allow couples to have closure and move on with their separate lives, while continuing to be the pillar of support for children that they will likely have to raise jointly. Mr. Speaker, notwithstanding my consideration raised, I support the amendment bill.